What's up, guys? It's Ja Lord. Today I'd like to give you an update on the Great Mills school shooting that took place last week and give you an update on some things that have happened since then and some things that I have learned about since then. But before I begin the video, I'd like to issue a trigger warning. If you're a conservative, an NRA member, a Trump lover, or anything like that, you are not going to like what I have to say, so please be warned. It has also come out that the shooter in Great Mills killed himself before the security guard on campus shot him. And up until this came out, it was believed that the security guard had shot the shooter and that the shooter later died of his wounds in the hospital. And then I've witnessed this across the area at my work, especially, that people were talking about this quote-unquote hero cop, and like this is why we need to have like armed cop people at our schools and so forth and such. But I do not think that is a good idea. So ever since the shooting at Great Mills, there's been like massive calls in my home region to send student resource officers to all the schools in the area, not just the high schools, but to the elementary schools and middle schools as well. Which I am completely against that idea because I have had a very, very bad experience with the student resource officer at the high school I attended, who shall remain nameless. So when I was in 11th grade, I got caught drawing these sketches that weren't school appropriate. One was my favorite female video game character wearing a see-through crop top, along with a sketch of Squidward with his nose drawn to look like a dick. And the third one was a morbidly obese grandma wearing a polka dot dress. And I showed these sketches to the wrong kids who shall remain nameless, and they narked on me. And the next day I was expecting to go to the office and get a referral for it and be done with it, but instead the administrator said that these sketches were quote-unquote pornography and that I couldn't draw them in my own home till I was 18, and they got the student resource officer to come in and tell me this personally, and I was in tears for like the rest of the day because of this. Once again, this student resource officer shall remain nameless, and this is why I am opposed to having these student resource officers in like every school, like let alone the elementary schools, because in the case of Columbine and the Parkland shooting, there was some kind of campus security at the school when the shooting first broke out, yet nothing was done to prevent it, and it happened anyway. Also, since the shootings in Parkland and Great Mills, there have been calls to arm safety advocates and arm teachers, which I think is also a horrible, horrible idea because you never know who these safety advocates and teachers are and if they really have the students' best interests at heart, because over in the great state of Florida, they busted a social studies teacher running a white supremacist podcast under the cover of darkness, and she got fired for that. And that is living proof why you should not arm teachers. And anyways, another incident took place in Calvert County, which is my home county, by the way, and at Calvert High School, where some kid brought in a BB gun to school, and the Calvert County Board of Ed has had a big debate over whether or not to send student resource officers to like all the schools and like arming the safety advocates, which they voted against. And like there's been like this massive outrage among parents and so forth. And I've seen it a lot, like when I go into my workplace. There was even a protest at the Board of Ed in Prince Frederick the other day. I don't know how that ended, but I'm not going to talk much about that. But I will say this. I personally think that the problem with school shootings in this country, there are 4 root causes that I believe. A, the lack of common sense gun legislation. B, the bullying and abuse that takes place both at school and at home that the teachers and the administration don't do shit about. C, our mental health care in this country is beyond abysmal, and that's why you see a lot of the big school shootings like Columbine, Newtown take place in rural areas. And 4, income inequality. Our country has the worst income inequality out of any major developed nation on earth. And income inequality can cause a lot of problems, not just with school shootings, but it can cause like a lot of other problems, like with mental health, bullying, and everything I mentioned just now. The thing that really, really pisses me off is how a lot of the right-wingers think that the school shootings are like a conspiracy to take away their guns and that they need these military-grade assault rifles to fend off a quote-unquote tyrannical government, and that they want like limited government and the government out of their lives. But at the same time, they want the government, big government, when it works out in their favor. They want big government to enforce their ideology, which is often rooted in white supremacy, male supremacy, Christian supremacy, and they want to force non-Christians like myself to follow their inhuman rules, which the people who write them often violate them on a regular basis. So limited government my fucking ass. And to those of you teenagers who are taking part in the March for Our Lives rallies, I salute you, I commend you, and you have my total support. Also, there was this one girl at the March for Our Lives rally who gave this eloquent speech, and now they're making like a fake image of her allegedly tearing up the Constitution, and that image was photoshopped, and alt-right Trump supporters everywhere are just eating that shit up. They'll believe anything if it fits their agenda, and I condemn that. This is why social media outlets, yes, I'm looking at you, Facebook, need to be held accountable for what they allow in their trending section and what they allow to spread on their networks. Last thing before I close out this video, I would like to say that not only do I do the March for Our Lives rally, people have my full and utmost support, but Pope Francis even said recently in his Palm Sunday address to the young people of the world, keep shouting, don't let the older generation try to silence you. And that, I highly salute you, Pope Francis, for saying that. And Pope Francis is one of the few Christian leaders around the world that I respect right now. Like, he even recently, after the results of Italy's elections, he made a speech about the dangerous rise of right-wing populism in Europe and how it compares to, like, Germany, Italy, and Spain during the 1930s when fascist regimes came to power there. I'm pretty much done with my little video here tonight. I hope people across the country, not just in Southern Maryland, see this, and I hope our legislators will act soon. And now that millennials are about to, and those after them are about to make up the largest voter bloc in the country, please vote out the Trump administration. That is not just something I've said, but lots of people have said that, including an anime voice actor I like by the name of Stephen J. Blum. He, especially since 2016, 2017, has come out against Trump and has been vocal in condemning him, and he even tweeted one time, "Please vote, it matters." This is a guy, you probably know him as Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop or Mugen from Samurai Champloo, but I'm going to save that for another video, and I'll close it out here, folks. Once again, I have expressed my opinions on some of the things that have happened since the Great Mill shooting around my area, and I have nothing else to say. Peace.